I'm Parag. I'm asking this group at the World Entrepreneurs Summit, in a session about the future of capitalism, what would they like to see is their preferred future shape of capitalism, starting with David over there.
And you don't have to do the video if you don't want to.
What would you like to see? Seriously, what would you like to see?
I really don't have the wherewithal to foresee much beyond my nose at the moment. I think
If you had to.
if I had to put down a desire list or a wish list of, it would be something between what we have now, dampened down and made more transparent and repeatedly accountable to the beneficiaries of the system.
I've got
that would be
three words that I'd like to. 3 words. I'd like to see the future of capitalism as the low carbon economy.
Andreas.
My name is Andrius Kulikauskas of the Minshew Solis Laboratory, www.ms.lt. And the future I'd like to see is an economy where every person who wants to be is an entrepreneur. People are encouraged to be entrepreneurs, large or small. And that no one really hires anybody for a long term. You know, that if somebody hires somebody, it's for the idea of them being able to grow as an entrepreneur themselves. But that, and that people know what they want, that we have an economy based on people knowing what they want and not caring what the market wants, but responding directly to people's needs. And people allowing each other to use their best judgment, so having this commons in the public domain, and where we have this team building. So if you're ambitious, you could have teams of dozens or hundreds or thousands or millions of people who you're leading through your values. So that this idea that wealth is relationships, people are doing, everyone is doing what they want to do, but one group or another group can meet each other halfway and say, hey, why don't we steer our direction, thus, and steer our direction thus. So, and people would understand money as just like the tip of the iceberg, that money is to measure profits. Money is just to see how wealth circulates. But people would appreciate that when people exchange, let's say, 10 pounds, really there's thousands or millions of pounds of assets underneath that both people are contributing, and not to make too much about what the superficial. And maybe just to conclude,
Anything else?
just to conclude, the way to do this, I think, through education. So we discussed here, like, if people shared and thought, like, where does their water come from? Where does their food come from? How are things delivered? How does transportation works? Then that would allow us to have a transparent society.
I'd like to see a redefinition of values, and in terms of capitalism, it's very much a question of making assets grow. And I'd like to see a society where we redefine really what we call assets. Is it just hard cash? Is that really truly what we want in our lives? Is that really truly what will make our society a healthier, happier place? Or is there a broader value system that we need to thirst for? It's fine to be greedy, but do we have to be greedy for money? Can we not be also greedy for, beautiful values in society, including happiness, including ethical values, including things that make us and our children happier on this planet? It's not just money. And capitalism can be leveraged it's a very powerful thing. It can be leveraged. It can be leveraged to amassing not just money but other values too.
Absolutely. Marketing capitalism are ethical, ethically neutral vehicles. Yeah. It's what we put into them
Exactly right.
where the problem starts. On that point, I'd like to see a capitalism where every individual is encouraged by their community and the state to have a personal epiphany of who they are and what their place is in the world, understand their deep interconnectedness and what's good for someone else is good for me. And I personally believe that we won't have to worry about what the capitalism looks like after that, because it will evolve as it needs to, based upon, ultimately, love.
Yeah, I think that if people have more interest in other people rather than themselves and can put other people first, then I think that's good grounding for starting something that's gonna look after the whole world, create good relationships in business, and just preserve things for people's children, people's grandchildren. If you look after other people, then it will come back on yourself.
Anyone else?
Thank you very much. That's great.